Hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Vortex. My name is Hikaru, and this is a new series we're starting on the channel. We're going to be calling it Into the Vortex. The idea is it's going to be a first look series with a bit of a twist. What we're trying to do is we're focusing on games that have been out for a while actually, but have either had a lot of updates, a major update recently, or have gone free to play. So some game-changing event that has changed it from its original form. A lot of these games kind of got glossed over when they first came out, at least by some players, and you know, they jumped in, they tried it out like I did with this specific game, and then they jumped back out, and we're kind of at the same time we're doing a first look, we're going to skim it to see changes, what's been improved, what's been basically changed in the game to make it better, how the game evolved. So kind of a first look series with a twist. As you can see, our first game we're starting with in this series is called Tera. It just went free to play somewhat recently. The free to play version they're calling Tera Rising. It is completely free to download and try it out. Give it a shot. It is a free to play with a pay store option, a cash shop option. So you can play all the way through the leveling system without paying if you so wish to do. But if you want to drop money, of course, there's a ton of stuff they're willing to let you do that with. So for this series, I'm going to be joined with two people, Dark Relic and Jack. Jack, of course, from our DDO series, and then Dark Relic's been here for all of our series as a mainstay. So we're starting here with the character select screen. I'm going to make a character up, go through the basics quickly of the character creation process, and then we're going to jump into the tutorial where the two of them are waiting to join me. As you can see, there's a choice of, it looks like 7 races. The races are pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. You've got the humans, you've got the very interesting looking Castanek, the Amon, kind of a big brute golem-y looking character. The Purpori, which is a, I guess, panda? It looks like a panda race. Very interesting. There's the Ellen, which is the miniature small girl bunny race. Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are. There's the Baraka, which is another golem-style race. Reading the description here, it looks like they're a peaceful and noble race, as were the other ones more like. And then there's the High Elves. Probably the most feminine version of High Elves I've ever seen, but theirs are the High Elves. As you can see, when you click on each of the races, it kind of gives you a small overview like most games do, just to give you a little backstory of what they're like. I'm going to play a High Elf, because I always play an elf. So we'll choose the High Elf. We'll switch over. Now we're looking at classes. This game has a different combat style. I should probably say that right at the beginning. It's not standard like you see in a game like World of Warcraft, or a game like Rift, or any of the other games out there, EverQuest 2. It's more of an action-based. If you watched our Raiders series, it's very similar to that with a bit of a twist. When you click the button, you swing the sword, you shoot your bow, whatever it might be, and you're actually aiming. So this has almost like a first-person shooter control, or a third-person shooter control aspect of it, but it's definitely still an MMO. You have abilities you can fire off, cooldowns, stats, gear, quests, all the stuff you'd expect from an MMO. Now, there's quite a few choices for classes, actually. There's 8 classes here, I see, and they're all pretty varied. I was impressed. It gives you a good amount of information on the screen for new players. It tells you the general player skill required to play the class. It also tells you what their role is. So, for example, with the warrior, you're saying that it's either an evasion tank, sustained DPS, and it's a melee class with leather armor. As you go through them all, you can see that the tanky characters seem to be the ones with the higher player skill required. But Lancer's an absorption tank like you'd expect. The Slayer is burst DPS, giant two-hander. The Berserker is also burst DPS with a giant two-hander. That is an enormous axe. The Sorcerer is burst DPS, quite obvious, a ranged DPS character like usual. Obviously the high DPS characters and the range character seems to bring the difficulty down. The Archer, which is what I'm going to be playing, which is what I usually play, is sustained DPS and of course ranged. Priest, it's obvious what the Priest is, it's a healer. That is an interesting outfit. And then the Mystic, which is a support healer, another ranged class. The nice thing is it also tells you what kind of armor that they wear, so you can kind of get the idea of how defensive your character is going to be and how your character is going to look. So I'm going to choose Archer here. Jump right in with that. Now, I was actually pretty impressed. I came in and I poked around a little bit. Like I had said earlier, I played this game when it first came out. I had purchased it. I played it for a little bit. Didn't get too incredibly far. It didn't really draw me in. But the the actual character creation process seems to have been enhanced. I do not recall having this many options. They did a pretty good job of really giving you quite a few presets, and then you can make all kinds of changes. I'm not going to go too far into this here because I don't want you guys to have to watch me clicking on stuff forever, so we're just going to go with the preset here, but I do want to show you all the options. There are a lot of options. You've got tattoos, adornments, and you can even go in and fine detail them and change little bits about width and height and stuff like that. So it's pretty impressive. It even gives you the option to take a look at what you would look like in various gear throughout the game to see if your character really looks the way you want it to, so you don't get stuck later on. There's also an option for each character with 6 voices, so you can determine how your guy's going to sound. We'll just go kind of almost in the middle there. Edit the name. Since I have a character by all of the names that I usually use, we'll go by that. So I guess it's a variation of Hikaru, so we'll stick with it. And let's see if it's going to take it. It looks like it did. No one else has that name. So now it's going to drop into the character creation screen, and as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of characters. None of them are too high. But we're going to jump right in. As you can see, we play on the Tempest Reach server if you want to join us. I don't know how active we'll be in the game, but hey, if it's fun, if they've made a lot of good changes, maybe we'll start playing it. So it gives you an option to go through the prologue, which is kind of a tutorial area. It's very short, but it gives you a general idea of how the game is played and a general feel of the backstory. Or you could just skip straight to the beginning of the game. We're going to do the prologue so we can see what it's like. Now, here's not too surprising since I've played the game, but it gives you the option to use a controller. Like I had said earlier, this is an action-based combat system. The first thing most people think when they see controller with MMO is that the combat's not going to be deep at all. But that's not what I'm seeing. I'm actually seeing that the combat system has quite a bit of depth, a lot of chaining abilities, a lot of strategy to it. But the controller I could see being very useful with this combat system, and something I would probably try at a future time. But I'm going to stick with keyboard now because that's what I have set up for recording. So let's load on in here. Here we go. So I can see Dark Relic there dancing, and I can see Jackknife right there, which is, of course, Dark and Jack. Okay, so during this tutorial, you're actually a level 20 character. Now, obviously, you're not going to be level 20 at the end of the character. You'll be at the end of the tutorial, you'll be level 1, but level 20 is. The game is completely on mouse look. So, I mean, it's complete mouse look because of the action-based combat. So, due to that, in order to get a mouse so you can actually look at stuff, you hit the Alt button. Alt button or escape works also. Brings up your mouse, you've got all your menus, and then you can go in and you can see what some of these abilities do. So these are upgraded versions of the abilities you get. So Arrow Volley, I happen to know what all these do already, but I'll scroll through them so you guys can take a look if you're curious. Arrow Volley allows me to hit the button, scan across a group of mobs, and then hit the button again to fire a volley of arrows. Penetrating shot can be fired or charged and fired, and it'll shoot obviously a hard-hitting arrow. And then there's Radiant Arrow, which is another charge attack, and then Rapid Fire, which is a succession of attacks. Now you assign an ability to your left and your right click. Left click for me is just the basic shoot. Right click for this character is a back step. It's kind of a jump back. And then right now tab is retaliate. Leap to your feet when attacking your target, so if you get knocked down, you can use that. Okay, so let's just jump right in and get to it. So how you guys doing?
Pretty good. Good. Yeah, the mouse look is interesting getting used to, again, from DCUO. It's the only other game that I've ever played that's really that's been like this, but it's once you get used to it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It seems pretty fluent. The mouse feels like it should feel. I mean, the camera is good control, and with it, this whole thing is done in the Unreal Engine, so the graphics are just out of this world. I mean, very, very impressive.
The graphics are unreal?
They are quite unreal.
Be a scholar, but don't.
So the magic button in this game is F. F does everything. So if you want to talk to someone, use an object, do whatever you want to do, it's F. So, yeah, you have to talk to the guy, grab the quest. Pretty standard fare for MMOs. You got your little guide on the right-hand side telling you what to do. I am not sure what the abundant stamina thing underneath my life is up there, but, yeah. I guess we'll learn in time.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking that's something to do with the campfire right here.
Oh, maybe it's like I'm earning rested XP or something?
It's regenerate. Yeah, I'm thinking it regenerates your health and your mana and whatnot.
It's not letting me mouse look over it. Well, it's okay. We'll find out later. I'm sure it's something. Okay, so it tells you everything to do for your quest over on the side there. So check in with each of the medics treating the wounded on the beach. Okay, so we can see the question marks on our map there. So
Quit! I don't know the meaning of the word.
okay, easy enough.
Yep, go up and
This isn't my first rodeo, you know.
love. I love the command for that. That's just wonderful.
What was the command?
Oh, if you want anything from the medics, just go up and F them.
Another
them.
day, another yes.
Nice.
He told me it wasn't his first rodeo when I talked to him.
Well, I mean, you got to figure every new player goes and F's them all, so they're pretty experienced.
Feel the force of magic.
Okay, so that quest is done. So talk to Quartermaster Popamin. That was a name for you. He's trying to organize the supplies that washed ashore. Okie doke. See all the players trying out their weapons. I guess I could probably do that so you can see it. Pretty cool. Fires pretty fast.
Hey, pop him in. It looks like he's a one of the potpourri. Very fragrant race.
Oh, jeez.
Can I help somehow?
This one doesn't look like a panda. It looks like a sea otter of some sort. Better gear from the Centurion. Yeah, I'll take better gear.
Show me what you've got.
Yay, gear!
Okay. Controls are, you know, what you like I for inventory, right click to equip, you know, stuff like that.
Really is such a tease getting all this, you know, the nice gear and everything, and then, you know, you don't get to be level 20 anymore after the prologue.
Wow. Yeah, I'm wearing all purple. Well, I guess he's an elf, so that works.
You up for a little fun?
Well, it's a good thing I got a jacket that covers up a little more.
What I meant to say was, he looks fabulous.
Fabu!
Should have been purple so we could match.
Oh, don't worry, after the tutorial I won't be wearing purple anymore.
Not right away.
Not really my color. I don't think it brings out my eyes. I mean, man stuff.
The Aragons took everything.
Wait a minute, did that guy just give us a quest to go talk to his staff? He's right there. It's like 5 steps away. That is the laziest leader I have ever seen.
I miss home.
Hey, he's like, this
Actually,
guy will
it
do
makes sense. Because if you look at her really close, that helmet's kind of covering up her eyes, so she has no idea where they are.
Can you go find them? I cannot see a thing.
Always ready to fight.
Kind of reminds me of that old Robin Hood spoof. What are you doing? I'm guessing. I guess nobody's coming.
Vortex.
That's right, because the guy was blind. But he was keeping watch.
Blinking. Ah, love Mel Brooks.
Okay, so it looks like find the cave entrance. So, well, that's pretty obviously up the only way you can go.
One thing I'll say, they're pretty set on letting you know the movement keys here. I keep getting, the WASD is how you move. I think I've seen that about 10 times. So that's a good thing to know.
It's very important.
You guys didn't know that yet.
It's very important to know how to move. Up, space is the jump.
It's like you're watching my screen.
Up, it's telling me again, as if I didn't just do it.
Hey, I know
telling
you
you, man.
just jumped and all, but if you want to know how to really jump, spacebar.
All the cool kids are doing it.
That's where it's at.
Better too much tutorial than not enough, I guess. Teleport to island cliff tops. I believe this part is a solo aspect, so we're going to be on our own for a little bit.
And that's exactly what I always do. If I see a swirling, watery, vortexy thing, I always just run right for it.
Well, of course you do. I mean, this series is called Into the Vortex.
That's a good point.